thing.
Too late.
You might get some. Oh, too late. There it is. Well, just FYI, you might get some random video clips thrown in the mix just for fun. But anyway, hey, everybody who's listening, thanks so much for tuning in. Really appreciate every single one of you who is on and checking us out today. We have a really exciting guest, another pipeline agent, and this one's new. So we're going to get to hear all about the onboarding experience over here at Pipeline. So we're ready to have some fun. Hope you are too.
The Carrier Experience Podcast is a show for anyone who wants to grow their agency and be a titan of the insurance industry. Learn from a panel of experts who share their agency struggles, their experiences with the nation's best carriers, and share the marketing secrets that successful insurance agents are using today. Now, here's your host, the insurance bro, James Cias.
All right.
Never gets old. Never gets old.
Never gets old. You gotta love it. Absolutely love it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are back. It is that time again. Before we jump into the show, another quick reminder to please subscribe on whichever platform it is that you are listening to us on. Give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe, drop a review, help us show up that much higher for all of those insurance agents that are out there looking for some value, looking for some education, looking for some knowledge. The higher that you rate us, the more that you rate us, the higher we'll show up on those search results so that everybody can get that knowledge and value that they're here to look for. That they're here for. And also don't forget to follow me on all of my social media at Insurance Bro Show. Little pro tip, my brother pointed this out on Twitter. It's show without the W because Twitter just doesn't allow me to put that many characters, but it's still Insurance Bro Show. So anywho, all right, ladies and gentlemen, show for show. Ladies and gentlemen, I am super excited to bring on this guest here today. We have with us someone who has recently joined the Pipeline team of San Diego. This gentleman is a longtime tax professional, and he is excited to be bringing his book of business from the taxes and integrating insurance into what he does. So remember, over here at Pipeline Insurance, our mission is to help empower licensed professionals to effectively add insurance to their existing businesses. And that's exactly what our guest is going to be doing today. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Mr. Marc Carlos.
Hey, thank you.
My bad. Yeah, we're totally button smashing and fighting over who gets control. I'm just going to let you do it.
Damn! All right, then let me do it.
So there's those video clips that I was telling you about. Marc, welcome to the show, man. Thanks so much for hopping on with us here today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Especially 2 weeks before the extension deadline. Holy moly!
Yeah.
You've got another tax guy right up here. So
oh, nice.
You guys could definitely talk taxes. But before we do that, Marc, tell me a little bit about yourself, how long you've been doing taxes, how long you've been an entrepreneur, and what led you into the insurance game.
Okay, so a little bit about myself. I actually started working with numbers back in 2002, 2003. I was starting the mortgage business. Did that for about 9-10 years. Did a little bit of real estate, kind of entrepreneur stuff, buying houses, flipping rentals, so forth.
Nice.
Went through that route. Then recession hit. Of course, I wasn't able to last. So I thought to myself, career change would be good time. So I did a little research and decided to maybe go for a not career-proof, but a recession-proof career this time around.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, accounting, tax. You got to do taxes. The IRS will look for you. But anyhow, so went to school, got my bachelor's in accounting, came out and started just working these small tax shops, these franchises. And I actually enjoyed working tax. And That's how I started in the business back in 2014. End of 2014 as I started my tax school, if you will.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then 2015 was my first tax season. And then from there, I just kept on going and then feeding myself more knowledge. And yeah, this is what I'm doing now. I offer multiple services through my office, and now I'm trying to incorporate the insurance because I do see here. And if you want, go ahead. If you want to ask me
Yeah, no,
something.
I was going to ask you how it is that you decided to incorporate insurance. What was there a specific conversation that you were having with one of your customers, or was it just a pattern that you saw over and over and over again?
Yeah. So in all honesty, this is how it all came about. Um, Tax season. I always wanted to be self-employed. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I am self-employed now. Uh, March was my last month of this year working for somebody and then trying to build my own business. But anyhow, so going into incorporating insurance, I thought, okay, well, I need to offer a little bit more than just taxes because
Mm-hmm.
taxes is seasonal, and taxes I'm not going to be able to eat, live, and pay my bills throughout the year doing it 3 months, correct?
Right.
So
So
that's when I
true.
started. I incorporated. I saw there was a need for new business owners through my clients. New business owners, they knew. I saw people. Gosh, they know how to make money, but they just don't know how to stay in compliance. They just don't know how to stay in front of the wave before it crashes on them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When I say that, this is very common for successful business owners. They start off small, and they grow. They grow faster than they can maintain their compliance. So 2, 3 years later, 4 years later down the line, they got a great, but they go $80,000 to the IRS because they didn't know about payroll taxes and penalties and so forth, or
Mm-hmm.
they didn't stay ahead of their compliance.
Hernan's raising his hand because he
Ve-
remembers that.
Very
I'm guessing you're talking about our first business, PCK.
Oh yeah. Yep, exactly what you're talking about. I stepped in that puddle myself, dude. It was
Yep.
not the greatest experience in the world. It was a great learning experience, but it
Yes,
sucked when I was in it.
yes. So I seen that through my clients, my small business clients, and was like, hey, you know what? Let me offer payroll and bookkeeping to my small business clients, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because if I can do that, then I can do some tax planning for them throughout the year. And
Makes
I'm gonna
sense.
and this is the two type of business clients we do
So
have.
let me guess. Let me guess real
But
quick though. You started helping them with the payroll and bookkeeping, and you noticed that they were paying X amount of dollars to workers' comp.
correct,
And so when you saw how much they were paying to workers' comp, you were like, well, this is the business I need to be getting into, or this is something that I need to be offering out of my office.
correct. Because yes, so because I want to be able for them to come here to me, small business owner, so they don't get into that step in that puddle, and at least I
Mm-hmm.
can guide them to the right direction. And in doing so, guiding them in the right direction, and then saving them money in different areas, such as in the insurances, and
Yeah.
making sure they're not underpaying, making sure they're not overpaying.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I do see a lot when we start talking insurance with my clients is I ask, do you know what your insurance is for? This that, you know, yeah, it's for in case there's an accident. That's kind of like the
Generally
response
speaking,
I
yeah.
get. Yeah, generally, okay, so there's an accident, but uh, deeper above beyond that, they don't know what exactly it covers, what type of accidents and what situations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They just might have one commercial general liability policy, right? But that's limited as well, as we know.
And they
Depending on
think
the
that's
scope.
going to cover everything.
Exactly. Until they come sit with me, and then I know what business they're in, and
Mm-hmm.
say for instance a contractor construction business, and I was like, hey, you know what? You need to have these insurances because you're in a high risk, not a high risk, where there's high risk injury,
Right.
contractors,
100%.
so that I saw that need, and I saw that they weren't getting that anywhere else.
So I know that you joined with Pipeline just a couple of months ago. Did you have any insurance experience prior to coming on board with Pipeline?
No, not too much, not too much, not too
Not so
much.
much. Okay,
No.
that's cool. So as you've joined Pipeline, as you're getting on board, what has your onboarding experience been like? What's the education like? What is the whole onboarding process? How has that been for you? What's your experience been?
The experience been good. Okay. The onboarding process, like I mentioned before, you did a phenomenal job on the training. It was easy to follow. I understood it. The only thing where I'm at fault, this is just me, is I haven't made enough time to continue my training. And I think it has to do with extensions last month, and I got extensions this month.
Mm-hmm.
So aside from that, I mean, it was easy to follow, easy to get into. Okay, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the implementation is where we're having some setbacks.
Correct. I'm trying. So I have a lot of moving parts right now. Okay, because I have a lot of moving parts in my business, and I've hired somebody. They're gonna start next week because what I figured out trying to incorporate insurances into my one man show here is what it is I'm not gonna be able to do it by myself.
Mhm.
I got too much, and I didn't anticipate being this busy this year. So I figured like, okay, I'm gonna be able to do insurance and get it in there and run with it. But I just been too busy for that. So
So
that's where it goes to. I'm gonna hire somebody to help me out.
24 hours in the day, right? There's only 24
Right.
hours in the day, and you're using them up right now during tax practice.
Mhm.
All right, so you're gonna bring somebody brand new to this game. How are you gonna set that up as far as what are they gonna do? Are they gonna start replacing your tax practice, tax preparation, like the data entry? Are they gonna be doing, entering data, or are they gonna be coming in and working the book to do insurance on the insurance side?
Okay, good question because yeah, there's two options, right? I can basically hand the book of business and be like, hey, these are all my clients. Contact them, ask them, let them know I referred you. That's option A. Option B, I can actually make the contact, make the introduction, talk to the client, educate the client on the insurance portion of things. I know their financial situation already,
Mhm.
because also I have that relationship with the client already. Okay, so I think what he's going to help me do is they're going to be mainly doing like the data entry, the more the admin stuff. I'm still going to be meeting with the client and educating the client and going through the meeting or the appointment.
Mhm.
And then at the end, he'll just wrap up whatever needs to be wrapped up.
That's not a bad approach. I like that because in both insurance practices, when you're a one-man show or in the tax practice, a lot of where your business comes from is that one-on-one communication. The client wants to see you, right? And so
Mhm.
you're deciding up front right now that that's what's going to happen in your business. You're going to be the face of what's going
Right.
on. So, which is perfect because what we do on our side, on the pipeline side, is we do all that back end support for you.
Yeah.
So we're helping you provide all that information that you need. So that way, as you're sitting there with the client, it's almost like you got a checklist, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
tend to have
You literally have a checklist. You have
Well, you
multiple
literally have a
checklists.
checklist,
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is when you're interviewing somebody, right? I mean, and you obviously for listeners who don't know how tax season goes, or you do know because you sit down with your tax preparer every year. You're going to sit down with your tax pro. They're going to ask you one question: how was your year? And then we're going to let you talk, right? We're going to let you talk. And the only thing now for you, Mark, is you're listening with 2 ears versus well, you always listen with 2 ears, but
Yeah.
one is a tax ear, the other one is an insurance ear, right?
Correct.
And so
Yeah.
so now you have multiple checklists, and as you're listening to the story, you're checking off these couple boxes.
Correct.
So I like the sound personally, and I don't know how you're going to operate, but I like the sound of having that other person do that data entry because that
100%.
keeps you in front of the client.
Yep.
And so just to like and just to kind of add on to that, I've already tried it a couple times, just referring the client out. Actually, I tried it all year round, this whole entire year. Okay,
Mhm.
because I was previously before Pipeline, I was with another using another aggregator cluster company, if you will, and I was referring them out, and I felt that the relationship that I built and I have with my year after year clients that come see me year after year after year, that relationship doesn't go with the next person they're going to talk to about insurance. Unfortunately,
Mhm.
it is what it is. They now they're back at square one. The insurance agent has to rebuild the rapport, have the relationship.
Mhm.
I already have that, so I decided I think this is going to work best if I meet with a client and start it off at least,
Right.
and then do the introduction, and at that point, okay, he's just going to go ahead, or she's just going to go ahead and take you the rest of the information. That's it.
So one thing that I want to add to this is that we kind of already have that set up for you. So while you're talking about hiring somebody to do that, we're actually doing a lot of that stuff for you. So through our website, we have a couple of different forms that you can go in and fill out. And all you need to do is use that form as a checklist and gather all of that information. So if you go through and you gather all of that information and it's a completed form, you click that submit button at the bottom, our team is actually going to run through and generate that whole quote for you.
Got it.
So we're actually saving you all of that time and all of that effort. We're already doing that for you.
Hey, Mark, let me ask you this, because I know what James is talking about, and then I know what you have. I know when I've been in the tax world, I usually have folders, and especially now that a lot of the stuff is done remote, you have a checklist. You have basically you're taking in information, and I'm wondering if it would make more sense if we had something that ran parallel with that, where if it was one form that you're having your clients fill out, where they're entering their name, information, that sort of stuff. I mean, you're collecting Schedule A stuff, so you're collecting mortgage statements, you're collecting tax forms, you're collecting DMV registrations. There's a lot of stuff that you're already doing for the tax preparation. I'm wondering if we could take a form like that and kind of merge it. So almost like in my head, I'm picturing your intake form, and then certain fields have a highlight on them. And those highlighted fields are like dual purpose. They're like, this is the tax. This is what I need for my tax purpose. But because it's highlighted here, right? Because it's highlighted here, I also need to input this information into something else. And then it's like one form. As you're sitting there with the client and you're filling in that information, now you have all that information, and you can literally hand it over to your assistant and be like, look, this is what goes into the pipeline stuff, so we can generate the quote.
Correct. Yeah.
How do you like that?
I like that hybrid form. It's like a hybrid form.
It's like a hybrid form, right? And then it keeps you organized. I mean, in that way, when people are filling out stuff, for example, you're talking about the small business owner. So we're either going to have a Schedule C, or you're doing a 1065 or an 1120, 1120S, whatever it's going to be. And you still have an intake form, but we're taking that content and we're repurposing it. We're not giving you extra work to do. So you're not doing checklist number 1 and then checklist number 2. You're doing checklist number 1 is the only one you got. It just it's dual layered.
Correct. Yeah. No, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
You think that would make things a lot easier?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what would we need to do? Would we need to get together and go over maybe some of these intake forms and kind of figure out which ones we need to highlight? And okay.
We can do that. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, heck yeah. We'll definitely set that up, after the show. But that's, one of the reasons why I was excited to have you on here, honestly, today. I know that you're not quite started here. You've referred some stuff out to us, and we've gotten a couple of policies written for you. But, I wanted to hear about what your experience has been and where you're getting stuck. And this guy up here, this business bro of mine up here, he's the business bro for a reason. He and I work really well because what he does is he's an idea guy. He comes up with all of these different ideas and solutions to problems all day long. And he'll give me the ideas, and I need to figure out how to implement those ideas. So we work really well together in that sense. So having you come on here, we kind of wanted to see where it was that you were getting stuck and what ideas we can come up with, not just for you, but for other tax professionals out there who are listening right now. If you are interested in adding insurance into your tax practice, the reason why we're having this interview today is to figure out what real tax professionals, this side over here, real tax professionals are having trouble with. Where are the hiccups? Where are we getting stopped? And we're right now live as we're doing this, figuring out solutions, because this is just what we do. And I'm the systems guy, so I'm going to go in there and I'm going to write CRM automations, or I'm going to, create different forms and do all these different things so that Mark, you have the easiest time possible, or your assistant will have the easiest time possible knowing exactly which information is going to be necessary for the insurance side of things, and then it'll just be a plug and play. So if
Yep.
you're out there listening and if you are a tax professional, you're interested in adding insurance to your business, go ahead and go to www.pipelineinsurance.com/agent opportunities. We would love to talk with you more about what these opportunities might be, how we can help you solve your problems and effectively add insurance to your existing business.
Great plug.
Yeah, that was a good one.
You know what? You know what, dude?
I gave it a 10. A 10.
I give it a 10.
I love that. I love that. So Mark, tell me a little bit about how you foresee insurance building in your tax practice. How do you see it growing, and where do you see yourself? What do you want to accomplish in the next 3 years?
Okay, so I anticipate my insurance business booming mid next year. Okay, and mark my words when I say this. Okay, I just starting off slow. I'm figuring things out, and one of the first things I figured out is I'm too busy to do it all myself. So now, okay, I'm bringing somebody in. Okay, that's the next step. Once I get that going, things are just going to be moving by themselves. I have a solid foundation, a business solid foundation that I built, a solid customer base that I built over the last 5 years, a good following, low turnover rate. So I'm next year that I'm going to be successful in this insurance business using the pipeline insurance business model. I have no issues. You guys have an awesome model to use. It's simple. It's easy to use. So any other taxpayers out there, if you guys are looking to incorporate insurances, since you guys already have that trust built with your clients, I recommend it. Add it to your menu. What I'm doing is what that's what I'm doing.
I appreciate that.
And actually, so I mean, menu. So after I get this going, in the future, I'll be adding mortgages to the menu as well.
Nice.
So and I think I shared this with James. I want to kind of be a full concierge for somebody that this is the stuff we kind of should have learned at school. They should have taught us at school. This is the stuff they don't teach us at school. So we come out like stepping in these puddles. So I just want to be that go-to office or go-to person that's going to help them through all those obstacles and challenges that they don't. So they're not having to go and spend extra money on penalties, interest, staying in compliance, saving money, not being underinsured, not being overinsured. All those little things that we don't know what to look for as just a average consumer.
It's funny 100%. How that
100%.
works though, as a tax preparer. And this is the experience I had, and I want to know if it's a similar experience to you. I started doing tax returns. Holy crap! Now back in like 2007, 2008, something like that. Okay. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. Holy moly, just aged myself. Anyways, so I've been doing this back then, and once I started getting into the practice, right, and people, and I didn't try to grow my book of business. It naturally grew. You just provide a good service for people. You answer their questions. They naturally want to bring their friends and family, right? But the funny part was I would get questions all over. And this is the greatest referral source that you can possibly get. For example, last night I had a conversation with somebody about 403Bs, right? Investing, they're teachers, so they're investing in stuff. And we had a retirement conversation, and it came because their life insurance person, the person that they're going to set up their 403B with, right? Or that person was like, yeah, just make sure you talk to your tax preparer ahead of time. I was like, oh, great. Here you go. So now I advise them about all kinds of stuff. I'm like, by the way, if that guy didn't rub you the right way, I got other people that you can talk to for a bunch of different products or whatever you need.
Yeah.
But every time it happens, right, the mortgage guy is going to do the same thing. Oh, make sure you check with your tax preparer because, now that you bought a house, you might qualify for other tax credits. Oh, your accountant. Oh, make sure you talk to your tax preparer because, these expenses might be better in your Schedule C. You might want to incorporate, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's always coming from every single angle. Everybody's trying to say, talk to your tax preparer. Might as well, once the funnel is coming your way, set yourself up to help them out. So I'm wondering, do you have a plan, or do you foresee any problems when you have the client in front of you introducing the fact that you have insurance now as part of your repertoire?
No, I don't. Too early to tell right now. But what I got going on, because I have multiple services, if somebody purchased more than one service from me, then I might be willing to throw in a free tax prep next year, or I might be throwing 50% off, or I'm gonna leverage my services basically, you know. And I give the example, and the example I like giving is if you walk into a store and they only sell one product, you only buy one product, right? But if you walk in the store and they sell 15 different products, you might walk out with 3 or 4. Not all 15, but you might walk out 3 or 4. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to add to the menu so people can walk out with a little bit more product. But at the same token, I'm educating, empowering them, providing them the solutions they need to make smart choices.
So you're a little bit of a license junkie, like
I was gonna say the
this
same
guy
thing.
up here.
Yeah.
How many licenses do you carry? What licenses do you carry?
I got enrolled agent, real estate, insurance. I got all the insurance licenses, and then I'm waiting for my mortgage license. It's still in the
Nice.
process.
NMLS. Yeah.
Yeah, NMLS. Yeah, the NMLS license.
Yeah, I don't have the NMLS yet. The other ones I do got, and I didn't get a bunch of like I didn't go Series 6, Series 7s or anything like
No,
that.
I didn't do that.
So I don't do any assets under management. But the cool thing about having those licenses is you skip the legality of can you talk about something. Right. So you sit down with a real estate agent and the question, like I said, they send the referrals to me because they don't have a tax. They're not CTEC certified, just at least CTEC certified, not even enrolled agent. Just get your CTEC, right? And now all of a sudden you have the blessing from the state of California, right? Saying, that's cool. Go ahead and talk about that. Now I can talk to them about a 1031 tax exchange. I can talk to them about the tax implications on their 1040, right? I can talk to them about how it affects their Schedule A. If it even affects their Schedule A now that the rules change a little bit, right? But I can have that conversation with them and feel 100% confident. And then you want to switch over and we're like, okay, cool. Well, let's talk about what happens if you die? Well, let's make sure that your house is covered so your spouse is taken care of. I can have those conversations. And having those multiple licenses allows you to get paid at every single point on this transaction. So you're doing I think you're doing it right. Now it's just to systematize the processes,
correct,
and get that squared away. So I think honestly, I feel like the most important thing I got out of this was how can I take that intake form that you have for tax preparation and how can we simplify it so that you can hand it over to your admin and they can process all the information and you're still here face to face with the client.
Yeah, exactly. No, the hybrid form is going to be huge. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then we're going to be able to implement that all over the place. There's so many agents that we have just within the pipeline team. I can think of at least 3 or 4 off the top of my head that are also tax professionals that maybe have been having the same struggle, and we just haven't had the opportunity to have this conversation. So it's going to help out, I think.
And then as tax season comes along, I mean, I'm going to be seeing more people on a daily. I'm going to get the feel for it. And so I'm going to know, or I know my plan is going to evolve because I'm going to do kind of trial and error. I'm going to set this and see if it works and just go through it. Kind of like not the pitch, but the whole conversation, start with the taxes. I'm going to lead into insurances or whatnot, depending on if they have rental properties or, your schedule, your primary residence. My conversation can go multiple directions because of the licenses I have. I go real estate, I can go mortgages, I can go insurances, I can go taxes. Oh
yeah, I mean, you'll be pulling out schedules like crazy. You're like, Schedule A, come here, Mr. Client. That looks like a home, auto, and an umbrella. Oh, Schedule B, looks like we're talking about some rental coverages here. Oh, you're filing a partnership. That's great. Let's get you some general liability. What? You drive Uber? How about some other spare coverages here for your livery service? We got all kinds of stuff going on here.
Yep.
And this is all the stuff that all the stuff that you just pointed out. This is all the stuff that the average consumer is not going to know because they just don't know. The stuff's not out there,
Right.
So I feel like it's our job to educate them. Like, hey, you're not fully covered like you think you are.
Yep.
You have exposed liability over here. You just might as well sleep with your door open.
You know what? I had another idea as you're talking about that because tax season is upon us, but tax season also comes in phases. So, for example, you got first peak, and you got you got first peak, you got that little quiet time, and then you got last peak that comes up. And later when you're talking to James about that intake form, maybe what we can talk about as well is some of your marketing campaigns. So at the very beginning of tax season, you got that person that just wants to get in, out, they're getting earned income tax credit, they're like they want their refund as soon as possible, right? That's easy. Some auto policies that you can get squared away. Maybe embed the broker fee built in or something like that. That's built into your tax preparation fee.
Okay, yeah.
But have that marketing material like up front, right? That the reason why we want to let's get you in here. You know what? You get VIP service if you go ahead and get your auto policy squared away with you. I already have your information. Let's get you quoted. Then you got those second peak people. Yeah. Then you got those second that March bunch. Right, that March bunch is going to come in, and they're the ones who maybe have a refund, maybe not. Tend to be homeowners, tend to be kind of Schedule A people, right? So now all of a sudden it's like, hey, did you know driving your car could cost you your home? Let's get in here, let's get you squared away. Like those little tidbits of information so that you're pre-programming them ahead of time. That hey, when you come in here, we're going to take care of your taxes, but I want to make sure your insurance is covered the right way. So bring this particular form, blah blah blah, so I can see if you get so not only can I save you money on your tax return this year, but I want to make sure that you're covered on your insurance policy. Let me save you some money on that one.
Yep.
And then we got that third peak, and these are all the people that sucks, right? These are the people who are going to file extension. They hate tax returns because they gotta cut a check at the end of the year. But these are all the people that have workers' comp policies. They have general liability policies. They have commercial auto policies. And all of a sudden we can say, look, I know you got to cut a paycheck, but let me get your court forms or whatever we need from your policies, and let me run some comparisons, because maybe it's going to cost you, you're going to write a check to the IRS, but I can save you some money from whatever policy that you're doing, and let's offset some of that. So if you preload some of these people with what they're going, they're already coming to you ready to find a savings in the insurance space, as well as their normal meeting with you to file tax returns.
Yep. No, that makes sense. And what I like, and what usually happens, kind of like side topic here. Not anybody, but a lot of people that call me, have a conversation with them, they ask me about something, they end up richer, $100, $1,000 or something, by the time I hang up with them, because I told them something they didn't know about, or I share with them, no, you need to do this, and and just because my clients, they'll call just for random other stuff. It's not always taxes.
Exactly. Exactly. But because you're licensed in multiple things, you can talk about that stuff. Now we just got to set up a process for you so we know what we're doing at each phase of the year. And then once you know what you're doing at each phase of the year and you have that intake information, all of a sudden you've gotten busier. Easy. Well, should I say your admin's gotten busier, right? But you're bringing in that revenue. So that's where we want to get you in.
And my goal is to hire a second person after tax season next year.
Nice.
I want to have at least three of us next year.
Well, awesome. Mark, it's been a pleasure having you on the show, and I gotta apologize. I gotta apologize to James because I feel like I just loaded his plate up with some standard operating procedures for tax offices.
It's what I love, honestly. I'm very much a work on my business, not in my business type of guy. So writing these kinds of SOPs and building systems that will function alongside a tax office, this is what I love to do, and I'm looking forward to figuring this out with you and making sure that we find a solution that works.
Sweet.
All right, Mark. Well, as Hernan was saying, it has been such a pleasure to chat with you, to get to know you a little bit. Thank you so much. And before we go, why don't you tell the listening audience, if they want help with their taxes or real estate or whatever else is that you offer, how can people get in touch with you? Where can they find you?
Yeah, they can reach me at 619. Probably the best thing is going to be my cell phone number, 619-922-9640. And hopefully in the future with the new guy I'm going to hire, he's good with digital marketing, social media stuff. I'll have a bigger presence, or a presence in the social media arena.
What about your website?
Website's going to be www.axiomtaxgroup.net, and that's AXIOM taxgroup.net.
Sweet.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right,
all right, sir. Well, thank you so much. Yes, last little bit. Don't forget, everybody who's listening, follow me on all my social media at Insurance Bro Show. If you want to be a guest on the show, go to www.insurancebroShow.com/guest, and you can book your spot. We are starting to get booked out. I'm seeing a lot of people coming through. I think we have 3 or 4 interviews next week and a couple the week after that. So definitely starting to fill up that calendar. If you want to be a guest, you want to expand your network and give our audience a little bit of value, a little bit of your knowledge, be so happy to have you on, and so we can learn and grow together. Other than that, everybody else who's listening, thank you so much. As always, you rock my socks. You have my heart. Have a great weekend, and
have a nice day.
Thank you for tuning in to the Carrier Experience Podcast. James is a CEO of the Pipeline team of San Diego and is always in the market for top talent. If you are an agent looking for a place to hang your license, visit pipelineinsurance.com/agent opportunities or send an email to newagent@pipelineinsurance.com. You can find James on all social media at Insurance Bro.